You ready? Okay, we're ready. Okay, good evening, everyone. We're back from executive session, and would you please join us for the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, we are at item number 3 is correspondence, and we have anything today? Okay, we have nothing for correspondence. Item 4 is public comment session for items that are on tonight's agenda. Ken, anything? Okay. Okay. Moving to item number 5 is the superintendent's report from Ms. Erin Long.
Good evening. Certainly the summer seems to be flying by pretty fast, and we are working diligently on getting prepared for our back to school in September. Our third annual Tri-Valley Bear Bash is scheduled for Wednesday, August 6th from 4 to 7 at the Ayatoro Athletic Complex. Again, we're partnering with many of our local groups and looking forward to giving our students and families a great evening of play and reconnecting before we start school. A little update on cell phone policies. We've been working as an administrative team on them this year, and we'll be bringing together our cell phone initiative team on August 5th for some meetings to go over some of our thoughts and ideas on the logistics of how we're going to manage this, what it's going to look like at the elementary, what it's going to look like at the secondary, and start to have a brainstorm around the what ifs that we're going to have to address. We have been budget planning. We have been talking with districts in Sullivan County to see what we're doing. We're trying to be as collaborative and on the same page with each other with that. And we're looking at some opportunities to bring in folks to work with our kids that are going to struggle with this and understand the importance and the dangers of social media that we've gotten ourselves to. We will be hosting 2 informational meetings for families. The first one will be on Monday, August 11th at 6 p.m. It will be a virtual meeting, and we will set up a link for folks to be able to join us, anyone in the community. And then on Wednesday, August 28th at 6 p.m., we will have an in-person meeting at our theater. And again, we'll be prepared to answer questions to our community members, our kids, and anyone that has ideas and thoughts on this. Hey, some great news to share. Our elementary ceiling is done. It was completed yesterday. The folks are in there cleaning it up today and tomorrow, and we should be able to go in and take a look at it on Monday. Jesse said it came out excellent. It looks great. It's clean. It's been recoated, and we also had received our settlement from SWBR, so we are square with them. Rich has finished the RFP to go out for our architects, and we've been talking to some architects. We've got 4 or 5 firms that we're hoping will come visit our campus and take a look. I've also had contact with 2 groups for athletic fields to look if turf is feasible. I went by Monticello today. I see they're putting in something new over there. So, we'll talk about some projects and see what could be ahead for us in the future. A couple things I need your advice on or help on. For board meetings, the board meeting calendar that I sent you last Friday, is everybody good with those dates? We updated it a little bit, so we added more meetings, a couple of retreats. The only thing I have to add to it is on May 19th is our budget vote, so we would need to have a board meeting after that budget vote to approve the preliminary results.
The move that you mentioned for August,
Mm-hmm.
The move you mentioned for August, I'm not here that entire week, so I'm out.
Okay.
Just so you know.
Okay. So if the meeting agenda is good, I'm going to clean it up one more time and add that meeting on May 19th. And then if you would kindly consider either moving the meeting to Tuesday night or Wednesday night of that week in August, either August 12th, which is Tuesday, or August 13th. That would be, I'd really appreciate that.
You want to see?
See or give me a date, or if people think this is okay.
Either date is fine by me. So,
Okay.
however,
It's fine with me. Jerry? Travis?
That either date is fine.
Okay. So can we do August 12th? Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much for your consideration on that. It's just a big weekend for our family. So, and that's all I have. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Moving to item number 6 is items the board would like pulled from tonight's agenda. Anybody have anything? Turn your
Warrant 35, page 2, 12, 13, and 17.
hold on, please. What's the warrant number? 35? Yeah. And we have page 2, 12, 13, and 17. Okay, so let's open up warrant number 30. Oh, we're going to pull that off. The whole warrant? We have to pull that off, right? You want that pulled off?
Yes, those numbers.
We have to pull the whole warrant off,
Okay,
and then we talk about that separately.
okay,
Okay?
up to you.
Okay, so, warrant 35. I'm not seeing it.
Keith, it's 8B.
8B? I'm not sure why I'm not missing that. 8B. Oh, okay, warrant 35. So it's 8B. Thank you. Okay, so we're gonna pull, we're gonna do a motion and we'll eliminate, item 8B, which is warrant 35. So moving to the consent agenda, can I have a motion to approve the entire consent agenda with the exception of item 8B, as in boy, warrant number 35? Motion?
motion.
Motion by Nicole,
Second.
second by Rose. Please proceed to vote by hand. All in favor? Okay, that is unanimous. Okay, now we will move to item number 8B, warrant number 35 and associated claims auditor report. I need a motion to accept warrant 35 associated claims auditor report. Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Rose, second.
Second.
Second by Jerry. It's open for discussion.
Page 2, top of the line. 4402.79. What exactly was that for?
That was our FBLA students that went to the national competition in California. And so that's a reimbursement for her booking the flights and the hotels for our students that went.
Just questioning how it was done, that, the matter it was done,
So I'll
for tax purposes for her.
yes, I'll dovetail real quick on that. I've created a pretty strong memo, and then Leslie and I have been working on an entire new process form for going on any extracurricular trips that are overnight or any extended curricular trips. So there'll be some growing pains, and so it'll look a little bit different than what we've been normally seeing, but we're working on having just a better idea of where our kids are going, who's going, all that.
I don't have a problem going. I'm just wondering why it was done that way. That's all.
Mhm.
Page 12. I'm just trying to get a handle around why the numbers are so out of whack with other numbers. It don't make sense if the locations are closer. So, I mean, like going to White Plains,
So it really depends on what group it is and how many are going and how many buses we might need. And the length of the trip.
well, you're going to Walk Hill and you're going to Liberty for the same price.
Walk into your microphone. Is it on?
So like if you look at them, there's a whole bunch that are at 387.22. So that's probably a standard athletic event that they go back and forth.
So we pay hourly for the bus use, and then different rates for different buses. So if you have an event at Wallkill versus White Plains, I'm not sure which one you're looking at. It's the time. It's not just the driving. It's the time that the bus is being held there is part of that.
And we may have had to pay a little bit more this year because we were having some trouble with the buses dropping the kids off and then returning and then sending another driver later, especially with the wet spring. So then, especially our track team, this happened to, they're at an event and it's thundered and lightning and they don't have shelter. Kevin was able to arrange it. So we insisted that the bus stay so that the kids had a place to go if there was a storm and they needed to get under shelter.
Questioning it
Mhm.
because by looking at the numbers, it's questionable.
Yep.
And then page 17, in reference to our bonding, I see quite an interest on the bonding. Would it be beneficial for us to pay it off, or how much more we have on it?
That's something we would have to look into, whether, depending on the terms of the bond, even if we can pay that off and where that. So it's something I'd have to look into. We can get back to you on that.
Because I mean, it's like almost $30,000 for 1 month.
No, that's the annual. That's the annual amount.
Okay.
Yeah, 30,000 a month would be. Yeah, no, that's the annual interest paid for the year.
How long do we have on that left?
I'm not sure. I can get you an answer on that one.
Well, just check it out, see if financially makes sense to pay it off or keep paying the interest on it.
Will do.
Thank you.
Anybody else have anything for that? Okay, please proceed to vote by hand. All in favor? Be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education does hereby approve the consent agenda item 8B, warrant number 35. So moving to item number 12 is board committee reports. And we really don't have anything for that tonight. Item 13 is old business. We have nothing for old business. Item 14 is public comment session for items that are not on tonight's agenda. Mr. Ken Walters, welcome.
Now it's working? Okay. Last time I was here, when you had your organizational meeting, you assigned people to have different jobs. You missed one. Oil officer. It was not on the list. Must have it by law. Must show that it must be readily available on your website. Must have the email address, must have the mailing address, phone number, and the person you're getting in contact with. I also recommend you have the FOIL appeals officer. So I want you to straighten that out and get with the law. You all took an oath. Okay? Support the Constitution of the United States, New York State, and the laws of both. So do that, please. One of the things you're supposed to have up also is your budget. And what I see online is not your budget. It's a summary. Where's the line item budget? That is the one that's supposed to be online so everybody can see it, just like the county does. So put that up online. Also, I understand we're supposed to be .gov now, anything else. And when are we going to get that straightened out? I handed a book, Open Meetings Law, and this is all of the title, different items under the Open Meetings Law if you want to look it up. Like if you went to page 13 and you went to line, where is it here? Executive 271. There's 13 different things you need to consider when you go into executive session. And I want you to pay special attention to 306. Scheduled in advance. No. You're supposed to have your meeting, go into executive session from a public meeting so everybody knows what's going, and you're limited on what you can talk about. The only things you have to go into executive session is if it's by statute. You can't talk about that in public. Everything else, there's wiggle room and so forth. So I think you should all read that. And then on, let's see, the next one is hear, ability to hear. Anybody's ever seen me over at the county level like today? Can't hear you. Microphone. And turn them on, leave them on, and and speak when you speak into them when you have to, because nobody's going to hear it at home if you don't use it properly. And you're supposed to be heard. You're supposed to be seen, and you're supposed to be heard. Okay, that takes care of that part. On Open Meetings Law AO 5645, I ran across this. This is from November 2021, 16th of that month. And the reason I'm going to bring it up is because you have 2 subcommittees of 4 people each. Once a 5th person sits in there, it's considered a full board. All right. You should look it over, especially the last 2 paragraphs. Talk to your attorney. Make sure you're doing it right. Because if anybody is sitting, if you're not on a committee and you're sitting there and you start to participate as part of the regular group, then it becomes a full board. That's because you got a quorum of 5. To stay out of that problem, technically, and what you're supposed to do, you can sit and observe, but you have the same rights as I have. You can only speak at that point in time when the public has a right to speak. All right. So be cognizant of that, so you don't get into trouble with having a full board meeting when you all of a sudden have 5. I would really suggest you look at the attorney about that. And the other thing is disclosures of records scheduled for discussion at open meetings. I was on your website. I didn't have time to go through the particulars. I remember when my father was on the Board of Education in Fallsburg. I remember when he was on the town board. 3-4 inches, sometimes 5, of information. And what I see happening now more and more on this level, on the county level, I don't do too much on the town, they don't have much in front of them. And we're supposed to see it all. And one of the things the public does, if they're doing their due diligence, is be thinking and helping and pointing out maybe some things you don't see make it better. We are not the enemy. We are at the apex, by the way. We are the boss, the public. You are our servants, and you're supposed to serve. So I would make sure you have all the documentation. Mr. Dean keeps asking some questions. He he should ask to see the documentation for the trip. Maybe that's where some holes are. You know, I hope you tighten it up because things can happen that shouldn't happen. But the documentation should be present at all times and in depth available. And the same thing with, we'll go into FOIL some other time. I'll have another handout for that at another meeting. But anybody who knows me, I started over 20 years ago with tilting at a windmill. And I listened to Robert Freeman a couple of times. And my currency is working with what's on paper, what the facts are. Beat me up on the facts, don't beat me up. Okay? But I would strongly suggest you take care of that, especially finding a FOIL officer. And the FOIL officer should not be a high-paying person. There should be somebody on the lower economic scale who can do the job of finding the records and getting them out to the people in a timely fashion. Thank you.
Thank you, Ken. Moving to item number 15 is announcements, reminders, and upcoming events. Anybody have anything?
I did want to ask, do we have the nights scheduled, like locker night and such? Those things aren't on the school website yet?
Not yet. The locker night is scheduled for September 2nd at 7 p.m. We are in the final touches of our calendar that gets mailed out to our families and community. We did one of our final edits today. So locker night is that night at 7 p.m. Those should be up pretty soon. I would say next week. We should get those out there.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
I have a question about Bear Bash. Does the admin team, it is. The admin team, do they put it together? Who puts it together?
So it's been 3 different ways. This year, it's Mrs. Hugler and myself that are overseeing the majority of it with some of her work-based learning students. So she's doing a lot of the communicating. I'm doing a lot of the behind-the-scenes organizing. We have a volunteer list that's out, so I check that daily, and we've got several staff that have already signed up to come in and volunteer. But it's really a shared effort. They've been so successful. I don't want to lose that momentum. So
The only thing I notice and in communication with community members is that it's very short notice. Many families already plan out their summers, and Bear Bash is such a great way to get the kids to get excited to come back to school. But with it being on such a short notice, it's hard to fit it in a schedule that quick in time
I agree.
for future.
Anyone else? Okay, we're going to move to item number 16 is the new business. We have 4 items that we have to do. So the first one is 16A is night class municipal cooperation resolution. It is in action. Can I have a motion to accept the night class municipal cooperation resolution?
So moved.
Motion by George. Second. By Rose. Any discussion? Please proceed to vote by hand. All in favor? That is unanimous. That is unanimous. Whereas New York General Municipal Law, Article 5G, Section 119-0, empowers municipal corporations defined in Article 5G, Section 119-N, to include school districts, boards of cooperative educational services, counties, cities, towns, and villages, and districts to enter into, amend, cancel, and terminate agreements for the performance among themselves or one for the other of their respective functions, powers, and duties on a cooperative or contract basis. Whereas the Tri-Valley Central School District wishes to invest portions of its available investment funds in cooperation with other corporations and or districts pursuant to night class municipal cooperation agreement amended and restarted or stated as of August 1, 2023. Whereas the Tri-Valley Central School District wishes to satisfy the safety and liquidity needs of their funds. Now, therefore, it is hereby resolved as follows, that Richard Biebenroth, Assistant Superintendent for Business and Finance of Tri-Valley Central School District, is hereby authorized to participate in the night class program under the terms of the night class municipal cooperation agreement amended and restated as of August 1, 2023. Moving to item number 16B is the 2025 to 2026 extension of Food Service Management Company contract. It is an action. Can I have a motion to accept the 2025 to 2026 extension of Food Service Management Company contract? Motion?
Motion.
Motion by Jerry. Second? Second.
Second.
Second by Rose. Any discussion?
I have a question. Erin, could you please update us on any food service changes that we can expect for the upcoming year?
So we have not officially met yet. We are working on some physical rearrangement of the cafeteria space. We're renaming the cafeteria spaces. And then we're looking at offering some different food choices, but we haven't sat down with Whitson's to hammer those out yet. But we're hoping to make it a much more appealing environment for students to enjoy lunch or breakfast.
Okay, and we're going with healthier options, possibly, that we've discussed in the past?
Yes, healthier options, more connected to farm to table. And we do have some leeway with where we get our food from with that. Just really looking to give it a brand new facelift. So, you get your first impression and you walk in and you think, oh, that looks really good today. Where it was probably the same thing last year, but it didn't look so good. So presentation's a big part of it.
Thank you.
Yes.
And we're hoping to have this for the students when they come back.
Yes.
Good deal.
What about the quality of the food? Has that been addressed?
The quality and the portions have been addressed. Mm-hmm.
More farm to table?
More farm to table, better choices, and a better presentation of the food.
Thank you.
Portion is, I think, a big thing that some of these kids, are really looking for. So I'm glad that's being addressed. I did want to ask, I know this will be the second time we're extending this contract. How often are we looking at other food service management companies?
We did an RFP 2 years ago and met with Whitson's and another food service company that came with their proposal. They are from the Albany area, and so just the cost of delivery would have been extreme, and they were pretty expensive. So there's not a ton that services in this area. We are talking with Frost Valley a little bit. They food service out of New Jersey, and wondering if we could share some of the delivery expenses with them. But I will say when the folks from Whitson's come, they're very open-minded and willing to whatever we want. We just need to push on them a little bit.
Yeah. Are they also utilized in other districts in the county?
Ellenville uses Whitson's, yes.
Anybody else? Okay, please proceed to vote by hand. All in favor? That is unanimous. Be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, the Board of Education does hereby approve the 2025 to 2026 extension of Food Service Management Company contract as attached to the public portion of the agenda. Moving to item 16C is Master Services Agreement for Education. It is an action. Can I have a motion to accept 16C, Master Services Agreement for Education?
Motion.
Motion by Rose,
Second.
second by Nicole. Any discussion? Please proceed to vote by hand. All in favor? That is unanimous. Be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, the Board of Education does hereby approve the Master Services Agreement for Education between the Tri-Valley Central School District and Devereux Foundation as attached to the public portion of the agenda. Moving to item number 16D is amendment and annual appointments / reappointments for the 2025-2026 school year. It is in action. Could I have a motion for 16D, amendment, annual appointments / reappointments for the 2025 to 2026 school year?
Motion.
Motion by Jerry, second by Tammy. Any discussion?
Looking at the external school auditor, I know at one time we, at least I did anyway, talked about looking into another auditor to see if somewhere, or have somebody else just come in extra.
So we're still very interested in getting an internal auditor. I think our choice to stay with Nugent this year was because Rich was new, and he'll be guiding Rich through his first audit in a couple of weeks when they're here on campus.
Thank you.
We weren't required to do it.
We're not required to do an internal audit because of the number of students we have. We're under that threshold.
Anybody else have anything? Okay, please proceed to vote by hand. All in favor? That is unanimous. Thank you. Be it resolved that the Board of Education does hereby approve an amendment to the annual appointments / reappointments for the 2025 to 2026 school year. The amendment is as follows. School District Auditors. Internal School Auditor to be determined. External School Auditor is Nugent and Hostler, LLP, and the Internal Claims Auditor is Sullivan County BOCES. Moving to item number 17 is board comment session. Travis?
I have nothing tonight.
Okay, yep. Cole?
I just want to point out the other day we were playing on the playground. My family and my brother and sister-in-law were up with their kids, and they're from a small town in Pennsylvania. And they commented on how well kept our grounds are. So kudos to all the admin and for maintenance, for them to come from this beautiful area where they are and just comment on our grounds. It's a big compliment. The other thing I have to say is that I love the colors of the entryway. Very inviting. Job well done.
Thank you. Tammy?
I have nothing.
Jerry?
I'm good.
George?
On behalf of the policy committee, it was good to see everybody. New faces on the policy committee. I hope you enjoyed it this evening. It was quite a long discussion we had, and it's quite encouraging to see everybody here. Another question is, I've asked for a maintenance report once in a while because I had no idea that the greenhouse was such disarray. You know, if we can get a handle on things we need to do that's coming down the pike, we could really budget for them, and we would know better about what we need for financing. We'd have a better handle on it. And also, it allows me as a board member to know what things we need to address. And I think that's important to keep up on. The school's in good shape. Kudos to everybody. But I don't want any surprises. I mean, how are we going with the gymnasium in the elementary?
So that's completed.
Been completed.
They just finished it. They were packing up all their stuff today and cleaning up today and tomorrow, and we could go look at it Monday. They've had it all kind of closed off.
Good.
Yeah.
And it came in at the expected cost?
Under the expected cost.
Good, very good.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a good report.
Yes.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Rose?
I was just going to say, you mentioned the ceiling being finished. I was wondering if we would be able to do a walkthrough. I have not been in the elementary school in a couple of years now, so I'd like to see how things are looking throughout the campus.
We can absolutely plan for a walkthrough. We'd love for you to see it. It might be a good time, right? Maybe the night of our second meeting, the tax warrant, where we can walk through before the meeting, and the place will be pretty spick and span. Right now, there's a lot of classrooms that are in the hallways and they're waxing the floors and things, but love to see you, have you see it. Place looks great.
Thank you.
I have nothing.
Okay, moving to item number 18 is adjournment. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Motion by Rose, second by Tammy. Please proceed to vote by hand. All in favor? It is unanimous. The board adjourned at the meeting at 6:44 PM.